Hello everyone, my name is Mary Ravindranathan, and the title of the article that I am presenting is A Tablet for Young Children, Exploring Its Viability for Early Childhood Education. The authors are Leslie Kaus and Dora Chen, affiliated with the University of New Hampshire. So after the authors reviewed all the literature, they concluded that the research problem would be, can stylus interface technology and tablet computers be used with young children to implement preschool curriculum? The purpose of the study was to answer the two research questions. One is, stylus interface technology a viable tool for early education? And the second was, how can stylus interface technology align with technology curriculum standards for early childhood education? This was an explanatory research study. Authors used a mixed method approach. They used both quantitative and qualitative data to assess the viability of the tablet computers as a learning tool with preschool children. The quantitative component was a multi-single subject research design in which they examined individual interaction with the computer both during and after instruction. Authors used ground theory in the qualitative research design to more deeply understand the process of using the tablet computer in a preschool setting. Participants. As you can see from the table, 41 children were between the ages of 3 and 6 years old. They were enrolled in 3 classrooms. Most were Caucasians with 75%, about 12% were Asian, about 5% were considered biracial, and a little more than 2% were of Hispanic and African American descent. The researchers distributed a background survey to the parents to solicit information about demographics. Most children were from 2-parent families and a family income of about $50,000 and above. All these children were from one early childhood education center, which was in the northeastern United States. Procedure. There were 4 phases within the procedure section. Phase 1 was introductory and warm-up sessions. So within this phase, children from the same classroom were sent to the computer area, and they were each given their own tablet. The researchers first gave direct instruction to the students, but then as the sessions went on, the preschool teachers took on the role of the instructor. And the preschool teachers basically guided children through each session and encouraged them to explore and problem solve using think aloud sentence stems like I wonder, I want to see what happens next, things of that sort. But as instruction went on, the initial protocol was for the children to have 4 warm-up sessions, but like I said, as it went on, the researchers found out that they didn't need those. The children didn't need the 4 warm-up sessions, so they scaled that down and modified it by week 2. And as children did the warm-up sessions and they just felt comfortable, they just moved on to phase 2 without having the initial 4 warm-up sessions. So as children finished their warm-up sessions, phase 2 was the final self-portrait drawing. So they went into a room where there was a mirror and they were told to notice their hair, their eyes, their facial features, and their clothing before they went on to the tablet to draw their self-portrait. Then they were given their tablet and they were able to use the stylus and draw their self-portrait. Now we're moving on to phase 3. Children were interviewed using a semi-structured format that involved asking them to recall how to use the tablet, what they liked or disliked about the tablet, and what they found was difficult about using the tablet. They were asked to indicate their preference to typical drawing tools such as paper, pens, markers, to the tablet. Phase 4 was the focus teacher grouped interviews. They were interviewed in a semi-structured interview format. They were asked to compare students' free choice drawings and self-portrait drawings using traditional drawing methods. and compare that to their tablet drawings. They evaluated using a scale from below expectations, typical, and above expectations. Teachers were also asked to respond to questions about their perceptions of children's interest using the tablet. The results section was separated into 4 main points. The first one was ease of use, and the results indicated that at the end of phase 1, 75% of children reached the highest ease of use, but by phase 2, 98% of the children reached the highest ease of use. And then they looked at the teacher interviews and teachers' assessment of the students' drawings, and 66% of drawings were rated as typical, and 20% of the drawings were rated as above expectations. And then we move on to the nature of the tablet engagement. So they looked at time spent for each session, for each age range using the tablet. So the 3-year-olds spent significantly less time compared to the 4- and 5-year-olds in a given session when drawing on the tablet. Then we move on to persistence. Children experienced some technical issues during 76 of the total sessions. Out of those 76 sessions, 57.3% of those sessions resulted in no frustration among the children using the tablet. They were able to problem solve. They were able to ask their peers for help and teachers, but they did not seem frustrated using the tablet as a tool for drawing. Now we are looking at the children interviews. 64% of the children indicated that they prefer to use the tablet over traditional writing and drawing materials. 33.33% of the children did prefer the traditional materials, and 2.56% indicated that there was no preference between the two. Looking at the results from the teacher interviews, all teachers perceived that the children's interest in the tablet was very high, and teachers also observed children more motivated to draw using the technology compared to using traditional drawing methods. Discussion. So overall, motivation of primary age children towards drawing increased using a tablet device. Children also became quickly familiar with using the tablet and the stylus. Therefore, they became more independent. They were able to problem solve using the device. The children were able to attain comparable results with the traditional methods of drawing, and they were seldomly frustrated, and they persisted in their work when using the tablet. Children also became readily able and at ease with using the stylus. So overall, the tablet appears to be a viable learning tool for young children. The overall limitation of the study was its sample size. The study only looked at one early childhood center from the northeastern United States. So it limited the study's empirical validation of the benefits of technology use for young children's learning. So next time they should include a larger, more diverse sample size, and they should include children who are part of the digital divide, because many of the students in this study already were familiar with using computers because they had these devices at home. Lastly, ideas for future research. You should examine the ways teachers integrate the use of tablet into the curriculum, and also we should examine the differences between using a traditional computer to a tablet device. That concludes my presentation of this article. Thank you for listening.